Welcome, Transformers fans. My name is Composite EnerJoe, and today I will be reviewing the Transformers Dark of the Moon Voyager class Skyhammer. That's right, I'm doing Voyagers again. After a series of deluxes, I'm back to Voyagers. And as you can see, this is Skyhammer in his alt mode, which is or at least heavily based on a Russian Mil Mi-24 Hind attack helicopter, which is pretty awesome. Also, if the name Stormhammer sounds familiar, for those of you that have watched my drift review, I had mentioned Stormhammer. That's because this mold was repainted and slightly retooled into a Drift's helicopter mode, which was a Voyager class. They took this toy, what you see here. This is Drift's helicopter mode. So just letting you know if the name Skyhammer sounded familiar. It's also a pretty cool name, Skyhammer. It's a pretty cool name. And let's take a look at up close. Autobot symbol. These missile pods are detachable, which I'll show later. Back, sides, there's a lot, chock full of details. Really, really cool chopper mode. And for some, one, I guess, negative I have for this mode is that these don't really peg, at least on mine, do not peg that securely. Like, just a slight tap will have them disengage. Still, it's a minor thing. And, now let me give you some, I guess, articulation in this mode. He has landing gear, which is right there, lift up, and this pushes down. These can move because they can pop off. There we go. Put it back on. And this is a free form rotating. I believe that's what it's called. It's like free in any direction. It's a really, really nice rotation. Really nice. So, just to sort of be a little bit quick about it, because this guy's transformation is a bit involved. So, but before I get to that, let me show you his thing. Just like all other Dark of the Moon figures, he comes with a MechTech weapon, and here it is, which is, I think, as is a pretty cool double barrel cannon. It's pretty cool. And then if you can tell, if you hold this down here and push this forward, it turns into a blade. It's a stabby blade. And, one thing that is different for the Voyager class figures in the Dark of the Moon line when it comes to their MechTech weapons is that they actually lock in place. They can actually go into, they have a way to actually lock this so that it stays in its other mode. Unlike the Lux class ones where you just do the function and that's it. Oh, wait a minute. It's a little jammed on mine. Yeah, that just wind it. Whoops. Got it. Oh. Well, before I break this thing any further, let me just show you how to lock it. You push it forward. It goes forward. Just hold on. See if I didn't break. There we go. Okay, it's back. Yeah, be careful messing with this thing. For some reason, this one's a bit finicky. Push it forward. Then you turn this. And as you can see in there, it locks. You turn until it locks, and then there. It stays in its second form. Its alternate form. Then you then pull. And then if you want it back, you turn it back up and let it go. And that's his MechTech weapon. Unfortunately, unlike, let's say, someone like Air Raid, where it actually blended, it actually meshed well with the vehicle mode, this thing doesn't really work. You could put it down here on this port, down there, and they even made an extra attempt to put to mold the landing gear here on the gun, but it looks pretty goofy. So, I already wasted too much time on this thing, so let's go into transformation, because this guy's pretty involved. Let's see, first thing you do, put these down. Well, to make it easier, take off these missile pods. Just put them there for now. We'll store them later. And then, what is it that you do? What is it you do? What's next? You separate that. Yeah, you separate this. These will be his legs. Separate this. Separate that. There's a lot of separating here. Yeah, you put these down. And I think, yeah, you then go in here, turn this chest piece. If it lets me do it. Now let's just go to the legs first. I don't remember how to do that. Go to the legs, split them apart. And I said this guy's a bit involved. What do you do here? Oh yeah, this is the part that always causes me trouble. Yeah, you have to go back here, lift this part up. Oh no, first you have to turn, if it lets me, there we go. You turn this way, turn it that way. Then once that's horizontal, you then fold legs up like that until it clicks. Then you have clearance to move this around, to move this bit over, and fold that forward, this piece, and same thing, fold it forward. Be very careful. Then you separate these, and that's his upper half. To go to his legs really quick, take this. There's a little peg here to put in that hole, and doing this, oh yeah, for this thing you then fold this down, fold it forward, I guess, whatever makes it easier. And I feel like there's something missing here. There should be something else here. Wait. Oh yeah, fold that down like that, and then when you push this forward, not exactly an auto mode, but then this pops out. That pops out. So here, same thing. It already has a thing ready to go. Fold it, and then when you there we go, connected there. Does that, and drop down the heel. You have just one small complaint I have with Skyhammer is that his legs are made in a very weird, like very awkward way. He has very awkward legs, like particularly like this entire portion. So as you can see, so that's his legs. Let me go back here to his arms. So then here, oh, one part you have to be very careful with. This, make sure that this, before doing anything else, that you, whoops, sorry, I guess my camera's getting bored. So, turn this around, finagle it so that this part is out for clearance. Same thing here. Make sure it goes out for clearance. If you are not careful with this, these will snap off. I've had that almost happen to me a couple times. So that you fold these pieces down. This piece you just flip over, flip wide. For the arms, it's actually pretty cool. You flip out you go in here, flip out the hands, fold, like, you essentially just fold, you make sure that these fold into the arm, and then with that arm done, you fold this down. And there you go, that's that arm. Now for this side, same thing, go down, make sure that you hand out, fold it back, and then fold this out, make sure it goes in there. So you have his other hand. And then same thing, you go in there and fold this very carefully, fold it down. That I think locks, make sure that the arms, when you do that, it doesn't like interfere too much. Well, there's that. And he is almost done. Let's get to his back here, which can be kind of tricky. Here's the tricky part with his back. There's these two peg holes. Well, no, these two pegs are right here. You have to connect them with these, which isn't always the best. It's not always easy to connect it. Just make sure you fold it in there. This is always a pain. how was this? I always get confused by this part. How was this? Was it supposed to... There we go. You do peg these in, just make sure you put them there, and you peg them in, but then you fold these down. Fold these down, and make sure that, this is a bit of a pain, but you finagle it until this peg goes into that port, and same on the other side. And it gets to be like that. It can be kind of tricky, but you get it like that. And then here comes probably the coolest, probably one of the cooler things about this guy's transformation. The way that the propeller is put away. What you do is that you find, like on the actual chest piece, there are some notches. I don't know if I can have you see it. There's like a notch there. You have to connect it to that, so it has to be like that. Then you push it in. Push it in. And then the propellers, all of them, can... So I don't want to do it. You can fold down. And when you have that pushed in, these propellers also have little pegs in them that you can connect to pieces on the wings. So you just fold them down, connect them, keep them in place. Lift the arm a bit, connect to that one, connect to that one. And even though this is my first, helicopter transformer, tongue-tied. And even though this is my first helicopter alt mode, and I guess any longtime Transformers fans know that that usually when you have helicopters, they just sort of fold in the back and just hang from the back. But this is probably one of the most, if not the most unique form I've seen. Even characters like Blackhead in the movie, he's just propeller just on his back. And this is one of the more unique ways. No, scratch. I think this is probably the most unique way I've seen someone transform the propeller. And after some finagling, here we have Skyhammer. And check out that face. You can get it to focus. Check out that face. The mouth kind of reminds me of Ironhide for some reason. But yet this top part and the white reminds me of somebody else. In fact, this character is pretty much, I think story-wise, like his backstory or whatever, this is pretty much the closest we're going to get to, unless they actually do it in a future movie, this is the closest we're going to get to an Ultra Magnus. To an Ultra Magnus in the movie verse. And these missile pods, you can put them on his shoulders. Like that. Like that. Now he has missile pods. And then his mech weapon, just holds it in his hand. And he can fire with it or stabby. Put that away because I'm not a big fan of the mech weapons. I actually think he looks pretty good like as is. And this is a really, really cool robot mode. But like I said, the weird part about him is his knees are weird. Because, I don't explain it, they're like at a weird angle. They go forward that far. They can do that. Like you can't have him like do a regular knee bend. But, I don't know, they're kind of a weird angle because look, they rotate down here. But they bend up here. It's kind of weird. You get used to it, but it's kind of weird. So let me go a little bit quick. Go into articulation. Arms that far. Head's on a swivel. That's that. Can do a really nice kick. That far. Down there, the bend. And can open and close. So yeah, this guy, movie Ultra Magnus here, no, my bad, not Stormhammer, that's somebody else, Skyhammer, and has a waist swivel. Okay, we're getting more of those. So yeah, overall, I think this guy's actually really cool. Like, I love the well, one, it's alt mode. What is it? The Hind attack helicopter is a really cool looking mode. The MechTech weapon is all right, but he doesn't really need it. He's like good without it. The only way is that his legs are a bit weird. He's got weird looking legs. Like, just saying. But that aside, everything else is fantastic on this guy. And just overall, I actually highly recommend this guy. He gets another recommendation of mine because he's just really, really cool. And like I said, and the white face was probably done intentionally. This I guess is supposed to be like the movie Ultra Magnus. And this is the closest thing we have as of right now. This is the closest thing we have to an Ultra Magnus being in the movies. So yeah. And like I said, overall, I do like the guy. I love how the transformation is a bit finicky, but after a couple practices, you can get used to it, and he's actually kind of fun. Like I said, my favorite part is how the propeller stores away. Is in his chest and folds the blades. That is awesome, and I think other than him, I don't recall any other Transformer doing that. I think he's the only one that does that. And obviously his repaint into drift, but he's the only one I've seen who transforms the propeller blades like that, and that is really cool. But yeah. So yeah, overall, highly recommended, really cool. Just a really, really cool robot mode. Like, really cool everything, just solid guy. Just like I said, the transformation is just a bit finicky, and legs are a bit weird. And other than that, he's great. Can't say much more about him. So this has been my review of the Transformers Dark of the Moon Voyager class Skyhammer. And this is Composite EnerJoe signing off. Peace out.